my pleasure to welcome you to this video. It's a very simple video, but I hope it can help you relax. If you had a stressful day, a difficult day, and you're trying to wind down, I will try to tell you a bit of history about the discovery of our continent. The story begins with a man. You may know him as Cristopher Columbus, but he had a Spanish name and an Italian name who was his real name. His Spanish name was Cristobal Colón. He named himself Cristobal Colón with the intention of getting funding from the Spanish crown. His real name, his actual birth name, was Cristoforo Colombo. This because he was born in Genova, or maybe it's pronounced Genova, because that place is located in what now is Italy, but back then it was its own republic. When Cristobal got the funding from the Spanish crown, he set sail towards the west because he wanted to find a new and faster route to India. He wanted to trade in a more efficient way. Even back then, people, especially sailors, suspected that the earth was round, and that's why he set himself for a long trip. The Spanish crown gave him 3 ships. They were caravels or carabelas. They were small and fast ships. They had names. Their names were La Niña, which means the little girl. La Santa Maria, which could mean Saint Mary. Names are not usually translated, And the last one was La Pinta, which means the painted one. It usually refers to people who are brown, but in this case, it could refer to a ship that was painted in maybe many colors. They parted from the port of Palos. Or El Puerto de Palos. It was in 1492, in August. They started the trip, who lasted 2 months. In that trip, they crossed the entire ocean, and they arrived in an island in what is now the Bahamas. But back then, they named the island San Salvador. Which means Saint Savior. That was in October 12th in 1492. The island, it is now known as Guanahani. And the person who saw the land first from the ocean was named Rodrigo de Triana. This sailor was in charge of overlooking the sea, and when he saw the land, he yelled, "Land on sight," which in Spanish was "Tierra a la vista." And that's how they all knew they had arrived to what they thought it was India. It is quite a curious fact that they called the natives Indians, but in Spanish, which was Indios. Which is a word that we still use to this very day in Mexico or other parts of Latin America to refer to natives, even though we know it's not accurate. But it was due to that confusion that the Spanish had when they arrived. This is how the Spanish discovered the continent, even though we know that there are hypotheses of Nordic people arriving probably half a century before the Spanish to the American continent. they left abandoned settlements in northern Canada from maybe around the 10th or 9th century. But even going further back, we could very easily deduce that probably people crossed the from Russia or Siberia all the way to Alaska tens of thousands of years ago, because, well, when the Spanish arrived, there were already several civilizations living here. The Aztecs or Aztecas who are also called Mexicas had already been living for centuries, and the Incas, who lived in Peru, were even before the Aztecs lived. So it's a tricky word to say they discovered the continent. Well, anyway, I hope you were able to relax a little bit in this very simple and short video. I hope you can continue watching the next ones, and I hope I helped you a little bit.